First of all, the justification has to do, I support fully that it's long overdue. And I think all those against it since the conversation started are not really against that. But the reasoning behind the change is what people are not comfortable with. That's what so far I've observed. All these talks that Paul has done has not really questioned the need to have a name change, but he is suggesting further information that the government need to provide. Now, we are trying to do a historical identity and correcting of the records. First of all, every project, infrastructure, or a monument, when it is constructed, it has its own purpose, objectives, and name. There was no airport by the time Nkrumah became Prime Minister of this republic. What we have could not even be called an airstrip. It was a military base. Somebody thought there was a need for the country to have an international airport that would liberate us from mental slavery at the time. He thought of opening borders among African countries to increase trade and liberalize our economies. That was the reason why we established the international airport there. At the time of initiating that project, even at the commissioning, the project came with its name. So we are just trying to do the historical identity in this matter, that the time that the project was constructed, it came with a name. The person who built it hasn't used or didn't use his name to name after the project, but he looked at identifying the local roots of the Ghanaian economy at that time, which was Accra.
So why has Nkrumah become a consideration for the renaming rather than Accra International Airport?
No, it is the Accra International Airport that is we currently have, even at the board level. There's nothing like Nkrumah International Airport. That has not come up.
You have heard some of your MPs suggest that
that is a suggestion.
There's thinking about some Ghana chiefs and other things.
Fortunately, you said that I'm a member of the board.
That's right.
That is what the discussion is about now. We haven't personalized the infrastructure because you give opportunity for future governments to come and meddle with this type of conversation we are having right now. So the historical identity and correcting the records in this matter is that the time that the airport was constructed, it was named Accra International Airport and it must stand. Now, you don't profit from overthrowing the same president who established that airport. I always believe that we must align all our national monuments with democratic values. Today, I'm hearing people defend coup d'etats. In fact, we tolerated President Akufo-Addo over the last 8 years because of our belief in democratic values. So if whatever, look, and Samson, every coup d'etat that has happened in any part of the world has justifications. Every coup. You are giving reasons why Nkrumah was overthrown, but I'm telling you that similar reasons were given why the 1969 coup, 72 coup happened. Many other reasons was given to why 1979 coup happened and 1981. And same happens everywhere in the world. Nobody has ever taken up arms against a constitutionally elected government without giving us these reasons. Oppression, silencing the media, limiting the avenues for constitutional change and democratic processes. That has always been the standard reasons. It is not peculiar to Nkrumah. So I am saying that what Kotoka did cannot be a substitution for legitimizing coup d'etat and saying that we should isolate his own and treat him like a liberator or a freedom fighter and question all other coup that has happened in any part of this country or any part of the world. Now, look, 1960 Constitution, every constitution, you are lawyers, is evolving. No constitution, any part of this world, has remained same since 1960. That is why it always gives room for constitutional amendments. So if 1960 Constitution cannot be used today, every constitution is time-bound. Because emerging issues come that at the time of drafting the Constitution, you might not have contemplated the existence of such issues.
There are constitutions that have survived 200 plus years.
And always getting amendments.
With very little or no amendment, except judicial lawmaking amendments.
Which is part of the amendment process. So I'm saying that constitutions are living documents. So you don't base your argument because the 1960 constitution in your mind was utterly bad. And because of that, Nkrumah was a despot. That was the circumstance. You need to always, no two scenarios are the same. You need to always analyze everything based on the times and circumstances.
But Paul is talking about facts. What's the problem with the facts?
No, I'm saying that he talked about the Prevention Detection Act.
Correct.
That was in direct response to the several attempts that was made on the life of the president.
No, I talked about the 1960 constitution.
Please, I've just said that every constitution is a living document. And it is always evolving. No constitution is static. But my point is that whatever policy or law that Nkrumah brought, you must not isolate it by just talking about the law itself. You look at the circumstance. Have we ever heard anywhere a president shot several times? Bomb explosions. Where have you ever seen that? You created a very hostile environment for the president. So, for me, I think that, yes, he is a human. We must not also try to paint him like an angel.
Dictators always face assassination attempts.
So
when that is the only way to remove them.
So I'm saying that coup here or coup anywhere always have justifiable reasons. And Samson, what Kotoka did opened the gateway for many other coups in Africa. So don't analyze it in the context of only Ghana. He became the champion of promoting other coups in other parts of the world. And look, immediately they did the coup. There was a counter coup in 1967 by Atta Issah. He fell in battle at the airport. That was the reason why he was named. The airport was named after him. Does it mean that every Casa jet in Ghana now should be named after the aggressive heroes? Because they died through a helicopter. Does it mean that if he had died in the sea, we would have named the Labadi Sea after Kotoka? What type of logic is that? So the reason why they named the airport after him was wrong in the first place. Because he deserved no such recognition.